Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca. I'm known as the Bible Girl here on YouTube. I may be changing that because, although I do love sharing my faith and I definitely want to continue to do that for you, I have been receiving comments and watching what videos are being viewed. And my most viewed video right now is my testimony where I discuss of course, my faith journey, but I also touch on my cerebral palsy a little bit. And I received people asking me to share more about that, which I am more than willing to do. So, for today's, there's a lot of different topics we can talk about. So, today I want to talk about my journey with physical therapy, where I kind of started and where I am today, and why I'm currently not doing it and haven't been doing it for many years. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna discuss with you all today. So, when I was young, I did a lot of different therapies. I did physical, occupational, speech, all of it, and I also did some intense therapy programs. I did it twice in Michigan, and I did it once in New Jersey, and then I did it here for a couple years, till the business closed here where I live. But I was kind of fizzling out even before that. So, but we got there. So, um, at first, like, physical therapy was done at my home, and we did um many different things. We did pool therapy, we did regular therapy, we did, like I said, occupational, and all of those skills got me pretty independent. I learned how to get onto pieces of furniture that were low. Um, Whether I can get on like a standard couch that's high, but if it's like 14 to 15 inches or lower, I can fall up onto it. Um, so I kind of like started with that, and then we were doing a lot of stuff with different walkers and standers and things like that. And although those things were all great and um, they did help. I'm not saying they didn't not help. So maybe the standard, but I could talk about in another video. I talk about equipment or things that I feel in my experience honestly did more harm than good, but I'll do that in a different video. Um, so we did all that, and then as I was getting older, I was in upper middle school, early high school, and I was longing for more independence. I was longing to be able to do more things like going to the bathroom by myself or getting in and out of my wheelchair by myself. So I spoke to my therapist and I said, can we shift our focus to focus on more independent type things? And she absolutely agreed, and that's kind of where we shifted. So our first focus was the bathroom, because we said, she really should learn how to use the bathroom, so if she's home, or if I'm home, if I'm home, I can be able to go. So we decided different things to try, and we came up with a plan that I still use to this day. I've been doing this since, I think, like my freshman year of high school, and I graduated in 2011, and now it's 2025, so you do the math. Or maybe my senior year, so 2011 to now. So, many years. And the way I do it is I fall into the bathroom, I high kneel and pull my pants down, and then I kind of half kneel, take a couple steps in like a half kneel position, leading with my right leg until I'm able to kind of get part of my bottom onto the seat, and then I kind of use my right hand to kind of push up onto it, and then I sit down and use the bathroom, and then to get down, it's kind of just the opposite. I kind of get down, I kind of hang onto the bar, stand myself up, go down to half kneel, high kneel, and then all four. Hey, Oliver. So that's kind of what that was. So, and I hope that transfer kind of makes sense in a way, if you can kind of picture it. So that's what I've been doing for many years, and like I said, I still do it. What we discovered, because I'm really, really sure I'm like 5 foot on a good day, was we had to add like something to make the floor a little bit higher, so we used the non-fatigue mats to give me the height I need to do that. So once we kind of got bathroom settled, we shifted to my wheelchair. Now, getting out of my wheelchair was pretty simple because I already kind of had learned how to get on and off furniture within my own home. So I kind of get out that same way. I kind of just scoot to the edge and slowly lower myself onto the ground. But getting in was much more challenging. We tried many different types of transfers. We tried me standing up, facing the chair. We tried me standing to the chair from the side. We tried me going from like a different piece of furniture onto the wheelchair. I forget what that transfer is called, like side to side transfer or something. You name it, we tried it, and it just, something would start to work for a little while. I feel like I was getting pretty good at it, and then my knee would start to hurt, or my arm would hurt, or something else, and it was like, well, we don't want to cause more pain just by doing a transfer. So that kind of became something I had to cope with. Like, you can get out of your chair by yourself, you can go to the bathroom by yourself, but you're not going to be able to get in and out of your wheelchair. So, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to get in your wheelchair. I can get out, I cannot get in. So, for me, I was thankful that I could at least get out, because as I said in my previous video, I am pretty mobile outside of my wheelchair, so being able to get out is actually more practical for me than being in it. Now, that's not the case for everybody, but that's the case for me. So fast forward, I was getting out of high school, I was in college, and it kind of just became less of like, we kind of realized like that I was kind of reaching my like max, my point of like, this is my level of independence. And I want to take a minute to discuss that, because I think that's the concept that a lot of people struggle with. So, cerebral palsy is a brain condition, and it affects our brain, and our brain is what tells our muscles to do or not do what they do, right? So we can of course train our muscles, and we should be. I do encourage physical therapy. I don't think I'm bashing it. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Do it when you're young, because when you're young, that's when you're gonna be able to make the strides of like your level of independence or ability level. Because you're growing, and you can train your muscles to learn certain skills. So definitely do that, but eventually, it's just like when we grow, right? We all max out at a height. We can do all the physical therapy we want to do, but eventually our brain is gonna say, hey, your muscles are never gonna do A, B, and C, so you can keep looking at it, but I'm gonna keep bringing it back to this standard, this point. And I think that's really challenging for people to understand and accept, especially when it's their children or their loved one, because they do want their child to be as independent as possible. And I completely get that. And I want that for everybody too. But sometimes part of accepting that someone you know and love has a disability is, well, any disability, but we're talking about cerebral palsy because that's what I have. Understanding that they are going to reach a point where their brain is going to tell their muscles, like, this is where you're staying. This is your norm. This is your standard, and that's that. Now, that does not mean that we don't encourage to learn new skills and we don't work towards new things. Even though I may not personally be doing physical therapy right now, I still have goals that I want to do for myself independently. For example, like, as I've mentioned in my other videos, I'm moving, and we are going to be making me like a low counter so that I can make food and do things for myself. And I asked my caregiver to help me to learn how to cut certain foods. I don't really, when I eat, I have other people cut my food, and I think that that's a skill that I should be able to do more on my own. So, like, that's a skill, a goal I have for myself moving forward. So, I'm not saying not to continue to try to train your muscles to learn new skills. I'm not saying that, but there are certain skills that you're just not going to be able to do. And physical therapy, occupational therapy, any of those, what they're looking for is progress, change. Now, when you're, as I've mentioned, when you're young, that can and does happen more frequently. But as you get older and you kind of reach your max level, it becomes not only harder on the person, because they start to feel discouraged in some cases, because, you know, you're pushing yourself, or your loved one's pushing you, but your brain won't let you do more than what it's doing. But in addition to that, you know, sometimes, like, doctors and stuff, they won't continue to give it to you because there's nothing more that can be done. Like, for myself, I went and saw my specialist, I think, like, almost probably like 9 months ago or something, right before I got my new chair. And they were asking me, like, how my independence level was and stuff, and I told them that it was pretty good, that I crawl when I'm not in my chair at home, that I use the bathroom on my own, that I am able to get food by myself, some food, you know, like in the microwave, and stuff like that. And they said, wow, you're doing really good, like, keep doing what you're doing. So, they're, like, they know that I have limits. It's not like he's saying to me, like, oh, you should go back to physical therapy so you can start walking. Like, they know that that's not going to happen for me. For some people, their cerebral palsy might be more mild, and they can do the exercise and can walk, and that is wonderful. You should always strive to get to as high a level as you can, but don't be discouraged when you reach a level where you can't do it anymore, because that's just the name of the game. It's gonna happen. So where am I now? So I don't want this to come off as like I don't agree with physical therapy. I don't support physical therapy. I don't, because that's not it. I do encourage it, and I do think it's important, especially when you're young. I really do. But once you become an adult and you're kind of in your upper teens, like 18, 19, that was like kind of the case for me. You kind of are at a breaking point of like, okay, here's my max. So now I'm just gonna maintain what I've learned. So that's a big difference. And maintaining what you've learned in therapy is super easy to do. So when you're home and you're a physical therapist, you've learned how to, I'm not gonna use what I do, crawl. Okay. So I'm gonna crawl anywhere and everywhere that I can. Even if it's tiring. I'm gonna do it, because if I don't do it, I will lose it. So that's another thing. Cerebral palsy is not a progressive disease. You're not going to wake up one day and be at this level with CP and then all of a sudden you're not able to move any muscles at all. That's not going to happen. But just like anybody, if you don't do something, you'll lose it. And that happened with CP too. So if you're able to crawl, continue to crawl as long as you can. I'm in my 30s and I still do. If you're able to get in your chair, continue to do that for as long as you can, even if it's tiring. Because if you don't do it, you will lose the skills, and that will lead to needing more assistance and more care. And none of us want that. So, for me right now, do I do physical therapy? No, I do not. I do not. I do try to do some dance videos online because I like to dance. I kind of modify them to do on my knees. But no, I don't physically go to a person and get exercises or things like that. However, I'm always mindful of where I am, and if something I have been doing for a long time does become more challenging, I will definitely reach out for help. I'm not against never going. I'm just going to focus on like things like if I woke up one day and like I couldn't use the bathroom when I've been doing it since high school, then I'd be like, okay, I need to like call someone and like get help. So yeah, always be mindful of that. So that's my journey with physical therapy. I'm glad I did it because it got me here, where I can use the bathroom, get out of my chair, get onto furniture, crawl, be very, very independent. So, am I glad I did it? Yes. Do I think I'm missing out on anything by not doing it now as an adult? Me personally, I do not. But I work really hard to stay pretty active. So what I want the parents to take away from this who watch this, or the young children who watch this, who have cerebral palsy or disability, first of all, don't give up. That's number one. Don't give up, and always strive to get to the highest level of independence that you are physically capable of. That is number one and most important. Number two, once you get to that point, don't focus on what you're not able to do. Focus on what you are able to do. Because you'll be surprised at how much you actually can do. And that number two. Number three, don't listen to other people who they have your best interest at heart. They do. But you know your own body, and if you're cognitively not able to, your caregivers do. So if you've worked really hard and you've gotten to like a really good level and you feel really proud of yourself, just keep that and maintain now. Don't let that go away. But don't let other people push you into being like, you should be doing this. You should be working on physical therapy to do A, B, and C. You should no. If you've done it for as long as I have, I was doing it since I was like 3. And I did it all the way till I was like 19 or 20. So that's like almost 20 years. It's okay to say, this isn't working anymore and I've reached my maximum and I'm just going to do what I need to do to maintain what I have. That is okay. That's normal. That is healthy. What's not healthy is not trying at all or giving up too young. So don't do that either. Anyway, that's all I have to say about my physical therapy journey. I hope that this helps you. Please, if you have any questions or comments or other video ideas you want to see, please leave them for me in the comments. I would love to hear them. Thank you so much to the lady who gave this video recommendation. I hope this helps you. I think you were asking for your granddaughter, so I'm not sure how old your granddaughter is, but if she's young, definitely push her to get as independent as she can. She's on the older side. Kind of listen to her parents, and kind of see where she's at. That would be my advice. Alright, so I hope you guys like this. Like I said, I think I'm going to be possibly changing more of this content and focusing more on my CP. I think it's more interesting to you guys, and I think you definitely get, I can help more people with it, so that'll definitely be the plan moving forward. There's a lot of different, aspects of CP I'd like to share with you all, so, stay tuned for that. We will still do face videos. I just think they're gonna be maybe a little bit more sparingly, but yeah, we'll figure all that out. Have a good weekend, everyone. God bless, and we'll talk soon. Bye.